$0 Friday, and it's now 0 $100 Saturday. It's time for bed. I had actually a busy day at work today. I didn't get a chance to walk. I'm gonna go out Saturday morning. I've just been playing with some video clips, trying to put something together. This isn't bad. I like the band Live from the 90s. Yeah, that was a good group. Good, interesting, dramatic material. Far more than most bands. At least of the commercially successful bands. So I've been doing a little something with that. It's kind of interesting. There's actually 4 songs in that one video. And I haven't really done much of anything else yet. I'm just kind of sitting here, just getting ready for bed, actually. I guess the coffee helped. It postponed it by 15 minutes. You should always drink espresso 30 minutes before going to bed. Just give it that extra agonizing punch of annoyance. You ever do that? You ever consume a lot of caffeine before going to bed? And you're thinking, well, I'm really tired. It'll just make me feel better before I sleep. I've done it a couple of times. It'll just make me feel better. I'd rather. Usually, if that happens, I'll just try to counteract it with nutmeg. You ever try to counteract caffeine with nutmeg? It doesn't work really well. It just potentates both of them. Wind up with a pair of headphones on. I don't know what to say. You shouldn't have nutmeg, I guess. Nutmeg's a food. That's a whole separate issue. I had a nutmeg video on YouTube where I ate 6 whole nutmegs. I shot it a couple of years ago. I have short hair, sitting at my desk here. And it finally racked up about 4,000 views. So I had this nutmeg video on YouTube with about 4,000 views. It was like this hugely successful video, at least out of anything I ever had. But I finally just deleted it. I thought, well, nutmeg's a food, but I don't want the liability. I'm just thinking, like, that's all I need is some kid, puked out somewhere, just vomiting into a bedpan, saying it was the guy's nutmeg video on YouTube. It started making me a little nervous, so I just deleted it. Go get some coffee, go drink some strong coffee, put the headphones on anyways. I wasn't going to do a nutmeg thing. I wasn't going to get into it. I don't know why I did. I'm tired. Yeah, that's why I'm tired. I'm actually thinking of having a few nutmegs before going to bed. The price of nutmeg went up, by the way, and it's like really expensive now. I don't want to pay money for nutmeg. Not a lot of it. I don't. Let's go outside and walk and get exercise. Maintain an active metabolism. Just eat healthy food. I'll have a few nutmegs. I'm cringing. I can't say what I want to say. I'm just cringing. I'm tired. I can cringe when I'm tired. Nutmeg. I'm still thinking of reading my bullshit book about nutmeg. All you have to do is get distribution by stuff like Chesapeake Industries, the dollar store. And there's my nutmeg book. Big time successful distribution. Because your book didn't sell and it made the dollar store. Well, don't feel too bad. I got my copy of Al Gore's An Inconvenient Truth at the dollar store. I might as well have a bullshit dollar store book about nutmeg. It started off as something more elaborate, but after you whittle it down to the actual sales, dollar store. So here's to all the dollar store authors out there, whether you're a former vice president of the United States or just a really awful writer that couldn't make it anywhere for some reason. The publishing company took a sucker punch and spit your work out there. Here's to the dollar store. I'll probably be there tomorrow night looking at books. You know, actually, let's see if I can find anything from the dollar store. Hold on a second. Let's see what okay, you know, actually, as long as we're on it, I have some CD-ROMs that are books, and they're from the dollar store. Um, not like this one here. I think that there's a terrorist in my soup, and it's a book on CD-ROM. It's let's see, 6 hours and 5 compact discs, $1. Okay, so apparently this person who did a lot of work on it, this person has a name. Oh, David Brenner. Well, you know, David Brenner is really well known. Remember, there was a comedy album in the '80s he had. So David Brenner's like a really well-known person, and this isn't a no-name person. And his 5 CD set, containing over 6 hours of material, sold for $1 at the dollar store. This is dollar store. This particular one is Chesapeake Industries. Oh, let's see, Douglas J. Feach, and it's War and Decision Inside the Pentagon at the Dawn of the War on Terrorism. And this is a 11 hours on 9 compact discs, and this cost $1 at the dollar store. Okay, so that's, you know, obviously I go to the dollar store, and usually, like, I'll be there with my mother. You know, it's just, I'm 45 years old, and I'll be at the dollar store with my mother, because usually on the weekends we go to, you know, eat dinner, and we like to stop at the dollar store. So if I see the CD-ROMs, you know, or sometimes if I see books there, if it's something I recognize. There we go, Nathaniel Philbrook, read by Dennis Obscurus, Sea of Glory, America's Voyage on Discovery, the U.S. Exploring Expedition, 1838 to 1842. 1838 to 1842. That's a very specific era in the United States. Let's see, we already have the Louisiana Purchase. We've been doing some westward expansion, and there's just stuff. Bushes aren't taking the southern continent. Oh, I discovered Antarctica. Okay, so it's just basically discovering Antarctica. Anyhow, this is 5 CDs, and it's on Penguin Audio, and I bought it for $1 at the dollar store. So, you know, hey, dollar store. You gotta go in there, you know, you go to the dollar store, you look around, you find stuff that you would never buy elsewise. That's why if I have a bullshit book about nutmeg, and you go into the dollar store and there's my bullshit book on nutmeg, so what? You know, maybe it's got 8 or 9 glossy pages in there. You know, there's the different colored shades of nutmeg, the mace mixed in there, the ground up shell, and a branch. Yeah. Oh boy, we're digging a hole, aren't we? Aren't we just sitting here digging a hole? Because I'm tired. I'm tired. Atkins, Diabetes Revolution. Dr. Atkins, one of the pioneers in low carbohydrate diets. Dr. Atkins actually did preach consuming healthy carbohydrates, a lot of roughage. You know, his original diet called for at least 3 cups of lettuce a day. Well, anyhow, this is 4.5 hours and 4 compact discs, $1. So from the dollar store, I have 4 CD-ROM packages of books. Yeah, well, that was... Okay, well, anyways, I think I've taken up a lot of time. And, I'm tired. I've been up a long time. I haven't written a bullshit book about nutmeg, but if I do write a bullshit book about nutmeg, I'll try to aim for Chesapeake Industries with the dollar store distribution. And remember, it'll be a bullshit book about nutmeg. Crunch, crunch. All right, everybody. bedtime bound. Good night.
Remember, this is a real blog, it's just my opinion, and it does not represent the opinions of anyone other than myself. It is my personal blog.